are going to discuss in chapter 12 the locomotive patterns of primates. So there are 6 major patterns that we're going to go through. We have the first one is an arboreal quadruped. Arboreal means they're in trees, quadruped means they walk on all 4. So you have this picture here of a squirrel monkey. What you need to know about this type of locomotion, they tend to have longer legs because they do need to jump from branch to branch. They are pretty small because they are found in trees. And a good example of an arboreal quadruped would be a New World monkey, a platyrrhine. Now in your book there's also a subcategory. Sometimes some of these New World monkeys do have prehensile tails, so they might also swing with their tail, and this is called semi-brachiation. But I'm going to go ahead and just lump that into the arboreal quadruped category. Now secondly, if you are a quadruped, so you walk on all 4s, but you're on the ground, you are terrestrial quadruped. Here your arms and legs are equal in length, and you have kind of this flat tabletop back. You can tell that they are arboreal up here because you'll see them in a tree. You can tell that they are terrestrial here because you can see them on the ground. A good example of these would be our cercopithecoid old world monkeys. I also want to point out, when you see them on the ground, look at their hands and feet. If their palms are on the ground, this is a terrestrial quadruped and will help you differentiate between one of the other groups coming up. Third group we have is a vertical clinger and leaper, or VCL. You're going to see a vertical posture. They're upright, holding onto a branch, kind of like they're sliding down a pole. They do have very long legs for leaping, because what they're going to do, they're going to grab onto that tree branch, they're going to push off, and in midair they're going to twist and grab onto another tree branch. This is a unique primitive feature of our prosimian strepsirrhine, guys. Down here, number 4, we have our brachiators. This is a unique style of locomotion where you have very long arms, very long curved fingers, and short legs that are kind of tucked up, and you swing through the trees arm over arm, kind of like the motion you do at the monkey bars at a playground. This is seen primarily in our gibbons and siamangs, which are our smaller apes. Okay, you can tell it's an ape because there's no tail right here. You can see the very long arms and the swinging movement that he's doing. Next we come to our knuckle walkers. These have very long, powerful arms, very strong phalanges and carpals, your finger and wrist bones, because as you can see, they are actually walking on their knuckles. They also have an angled back. All right, so if you're trying to differentiate a knuckle walker from a terrestrial quadruped, remember the terrestrial quadruped has a flat back and their palms are on the ground. A knuckle walker is going to have an angled back, and they actually walk on their knuckles with their fingers bent. This is seen in our hominoid great apes like chimps, gorillas, bonobos, and orangutans if they do come down from the trees. Finally, we have bipedalism. We're going to have an entire unit on this, so this is just an intro. But one thing to know is that we are fully upright, so we have a foramen magnum underneath our skull that's directly underneath so that our spine can run straight down. We have a double curved spine. We have a lot of adaptations for our pelvis and our femurs. And on our feet, we do not have an opposable or grasping toe. And of course, this is going to be the human locomotive pattern. It's also what we're going to look at in the fossil record to see the evolution of that over millions of years. The last thing you need to know is the intermembral index. Sometimes when you are looking at skeletal remains, you can actually figure out the type of locomotion that that animal used. Basically, you're going to have an equation that you'll work on where you're looking to see, does the animal primarily use its arms to get around, its legs to get around, or a mixture of both? If your index is between 50 to 80, this is going to mean you have a lot of leg power. Your legs are really what's working to get you moving around. This can be seen in our vertical clingers and leapers and our bipeds, because the legs are really the powerhouse there. If you're in the middle, 80 to 100, you are a quadruped, either arboreal or terrestrial. You kind of fall within that range where you're using your arms and legs pretty much the same. And then 100 to 150, this is going to mean that you have very, very strong, powerful arms, and you're primarily getting around using your arms. So that's going to be our brachiators and our knuckle walkers.